Hey guys, this is Jared with SixGill Fishing. Today we're going to break down the Hamarr reel and do some basic maintenance on it. For this, you're only going to need a handful of tools. You just need a Phillips head. You're going to need a small P1. P2 can also do it as well. A 10mm wrench and then a small flathead. Other than that, that's all you need to get into the reel. So we're going to go ahead and turn the camera around and get into the breakdown. All right, so first things first, I see this question asked a lot, and that is, what is this lever? What that's gonna do is you flip this up, and that actually unlocks the side plate. So that, once you have that flipped up, allows you to just turn it off and pull it straight off. Then from there, getting into breaking down the reel while you have that off, just go ahead and pull the spool straight out. And then we're gonna go ahead and start working on the handle side. You'll see that there's going to be a flathead screw right there. That's gonna be the first thing that you take off on this side. So you're gonna take this off. And then once you have that loosened up, the clip is gonna come off as well. Moving on to the next step, you need your 10mm wrench. Let's go ahead and grab that. And with these are not torqued on very tight, so it's not gonna take a whole lot of force to get it off. And when you do put it on, you don't wanna put it on very tight either, because you will strip it out. All right, and that takes the handle off. Next, you'll see this little handle retention clip, which is this flat clip right here. It does have arms, which you'll need to pay attention to later. It is curved, and the arms do point up when you put it on. Next is just gonna be taking the star drag off. Under the star drag, you're gonna see there's a stack of washers. There's 5 in total. So you have this one, and when you pay attention, when you take off the click washer, because occasionally there will be a flat one that'll get stuck inside the star drag right here, just stuck to the grease. Okay, next you're gonna have 2 curved washers, and then a flat washer. Once you have all those off, you're ready to start removing the body screws. There's 4 in total. There's one right here, 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 and then on the back side, there's another one right here. Now the screws are different sizes, so you want to pay attention to that when you're taking it apart. You've got 2 big screws that go here. There's more of a medium screw that goes there, and then the smallest one will go in the back. You'll see that later in the video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start taking off the 4 body screws, starting with the front 2. Now going up to the top one. All right, so that's the first 3 out. And then you want to come to this back one. Now when you take this back one off, it will just come out, but then there's going to be a tab that you need to take out as well after. If you don't, you're not going to be able to get the side plate off. If you look right here at this rectangle, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. What you can do is you can go ahead, maybe able to just get it with your fingernail. I'm not, so I'm just going to give it a little tap on the desk, and it just comes right out. This is what I'm referring to right here. It goes right there in that hole. And if you look, it will catch on the gear and it won't allow you to pull the side plate off. So now that all of those are off, you're just gonna go ahead and lift the side plate straight off, and you have access to everything that you need. Make sure to just go ahead and keep the unidirectional bearing in the side plate. If you mess up the orientation, it will be retrieving backwards, and you don't wanna have to take it apart to redo it. So it's better just to make sure that it stays in here, or if it does stay on the sleeve, to just go ahead, pull it straight out and put it in the way that it came out. Now for this reel specifically, it is pretty well greased already. As you can see, it's actually got a little much on there. But I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate what I would do just to be on the safe side here. So I use typically a paintbrush for it. The grease that I'm using right now is a MOS2 grease. It's a little bit longer lasting and more water repellent than most of the greases I've personally used. So it's just what I do prefer. Now what I do is I just load up a paintbrush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of paint it on and get it in between the teeth of the gear. And just do that the entire way around. Just until you've got basic coverage across all of the teeth. Once you do that, that will lube up the pinion gear, so you won't have to worry about putting anything on there. When you spin it around, you can see that it is kind of taken off some from the main gear and moving it to the pinion. And the other reason I like this grease is because it is black, so it's a lot easier to see if you are getting good consistent coverage or not. Some of the other greases that are clear are a little bit more difficult to tell, but that's just personal preference. So once you've done that, you're pretty much done with basic greasing for the inside. For the worm guide, you can do one of two things. You can use the same grease that you use here on it, or you can use an oil. It's just whichever you prefer. Typically, I do the grease because it does last longer. If it gets wet, oil will run out, so it'll be dried up and you'll have to re-oil it more often. With grease, it will last longer, but debris will get caught in it. Sand, dirt, grime, just general buildup, so you will have to do a little bit more thorough of a job cleaning it out. So it's kind of a trade-off whichever way you want to go there. And so now that you've got it greased up, we'll go ahead and start reassembling it. All right, so for putting it back together, I kind of laid out the parts in the order that it goes. You've got the side plate, the configuration of the washers, all the way down to the clip. So first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and make sure you have the unidirectional bearing in there and get that slid on. All right, so with this, what you want to do is you want to start with this back one first. It's going to make the whole process a lot easier. So on this, there is holes on both sides. One is going to be noticeably bigger than the other, so you'll want to make sure that you do put it in the right way. The hole is going to go towards the screw. So in this case, you've got the bigger side, and it just pushes down into place, just like that. And then go ahead, get the screw. It is the smallest one. Get that, and tighten it up. All right, so next we're going to move on. If you see, there are two sizes of screws left. Talked about this earlier. You've got a medium-sized one, and then you've got two larger ones. So for this top hole right here, you're going to want to use the medium size. If you end up trying to put the bigger size in there, you will strip out that hole, and then this will no longer fit. So we're just going to go ahead and get this one tightened in. And then it's just going to be the bottom two now, which is this one and this one. All right, so you got all the screws back in, everything's good, nice and tight. And so now it's time to start moving on to the washer stack. So when you look at them, you will have two of these flat washers. They're pretty much identical. One goes on the very bottom of the stack and one goes on the very top of the stack above the clicker washer. So we're just going to start at the bottom and work our way up. So with the two curved washers, they both do curve up. And what you want to do is you want to have one curved up and then the other curved down. And that way it'll create a little gap, and when you do tighten up the drag, it squeezes them together. When I have them on, I'll do a little close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. That's what you want to see. You want to see that little gap right there. You don't want them to be sitting the exact same way with no gap in between it, because it won't give you that same tension when you tighten it down. So once you get those two on, next is going to be the spring washer. That just sits down right on top of them. And then finally, your last flat washer goes right on top of the spring washer. All right. Then you just tighten on your drag star. Make sure you don't cross thread it when you're going to get it started. All right, now with this, you can see it has the little arms to it right here. You want them to be curved up when you put them down on the reel. That'll give support on both sides of the handle to make it a little steadier. All right, so then just the handle. And now with the cap, what I do is I get it and I do it all by hand till you get it fairly tight, nice and hand tight. And as you can see, the hole is right here. So what you want to do is you want to take the clip and put it back a little bit further from the hole. Actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit closer than that. Not very much at all. Now you're going to take your wrench and just tighten it until the holes align. All right? You don't want to over tighten that because you will strip out the shaft or the nut if you tighten it too hard. And then last is just going to be getting this little tiny flathead screw in. All right, so you've got it all back together now. And last thing you can do, there's actually two more things you can do to it, is you can go ahead and take the tension knob off once you have it all put back together or while it's apart, whichever, and then put a drop of oil on that brown pad inside the tension knob. And I'm not going to do that now because it's not needed on this one. All right. And then if you look in here, you can see the pinion gear. So we've already lubed the outside of the pinion gear. But if you look in that hole right there, that's where the spool shaft makes contact with it. So what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of oil for this part and put just a drop of oil down in that hole. Put the spool back in. Make sure you have the lever up so it's open. If you look right here, you can see that this circle is open to the back. And then just put it on and twist it in place. Lever down and you are done. So as you can see, we just got it back together. It's a pretty simple process. Also, please subscribe and give you future videos of doing maintenance and other fishing tips and tricks. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email and we can get you taken care of.